imagine this. You spend 20 hours on a job application, you get to the online interview stage, you sit down, you do the interview, you spend an hour preparing for it, you do it, and you get an instant rejection as soon as you send it off. No human even saw it, just a cold AI that didn't think your response to the camera was good enough. And that's it. You don't get a job, you don't progress. My experience, literally last week, I applied to EY. I study finance at one of Australia's top universities, and I didn't even get past the automated stage. And whether that's speaking to the quality of my application, fair enough. But this is a trend that I've noticed a lot, especially within finance, within commerce, within business. Really seeing AI, people hate that word, but it's scary. Example: Claude in Excel, Claude in PowerPoint, ChatGPT in Excel. Seeing all these AI tools, and it doesn't even take me long when I look just in Australia, the country that I live in. Atlassian, one of Australia's biggest companies, 50% layoffs. And then you look internationally, and then you're seeing graduate jobs just continue to just go on a slow decline ever since when? 2022, of course. Why? AI. So the question I want to answer today is Gen Z, us, are we cooked? Is AI just going to take all our jobs? Is it going to be over? Or is there a world where we have to work with AI? Of course. Because I wonder, did people before the dot-com bubble, or the dot-com era, I'm sure that people then, they were scared of the internet. So then I just think it's stupid if we're scared of AI in the same way that our parents were scared of the internet. Here's the part that nobody says. Private companies, private corporations, they want economic profit. People say that. But the part people don't say is they will replace you without a second thought for someone who is cheaper. And that someone is likely AI. If that someone isn't AI, that is someone who is maybe overseas, maybe in a country where their wages are cheaper, offshore. We see this everywhere already. But if that same person overseas can do your job for a tenth of the price, with AI, of course, then what reason does the company have for keeping you? It doesn't. I'm filming this in July 2026. So if you're watching this afterwards, and then you're seeing this idiot's wrong or this idiot's actually right, then comment below. But regardless, it's scary, I think. If you don't know how to use AI, if you're not using AI literally every day, I believe your job will get replaced. And that's not to scare you. Well, a little bit it is, because fear creates action, but that's the reality. That's how private corporations, if there's efficiency gains to be made, and there definitely is, then why would they not do it? And then thus, you're in the firing line along with the 50% of people at last time they got booted. So, yeah, that's the reality we live in. That's the world we live in. Is it scary? Yeah. Am I uncertain about the future? Yeah. Do I think a degree in finance and accounting and analytics, etc., is worth it? I'm not sure. Do I think any degree is worth it? I'm also not sure. But it's going to come around, because this happened, as I alluded to before, with the .com 20, 30, 40 years ago, whenever it was. People were scared of the internet, of course, because the internet's the internet. And it's going to replace the jobs that Did you know there was people doing calculations by hand and that was their only job? So I don't think those jobs will get fully booted off the earth. They'll just get in the same way that manual calculations were kind of booted off the earth. People who did that just pivot into a role that does calculations but teaches the AI how to do calculations. Because I have a theory that us workers, us humans, will just become the mediator between the AI and the work. Because AI can do better work than we can in terms of like brute volume and brute outputs. Is it discerning? Is it creative? Not yet, but I think it's getting there. Because 10, 15 years ago, a good degree from a decent school, you would walk straight into a job. Now, it's like those memes are memes. I'll put one up right here, but those memes are memes for a reason. Like, people have to apply for 50 internships. People have to have 10 internships to land that dream grad role because there's simply less graduate roles. And that makes perfect sense because everything that I said before, AI taking people's jobs, people using AI overseas who can perform the job better. So why would they not outsource? Why would they not give more work to those people and save money? It's a private company. And I want to now say who actually wins and who loses. And now I want to touch on who wins and who loses. The specialist is in trouble. That person that goes really deep into one thing, I think, is in trouble. Because even think now, you see really good software engineers, really good, but if they're only good at one thing, as soon as that the market shifts, as soon as demand drops, it's hard. Because imagine spending 3 years learning how to code, and then in the past 6 months, a coding agent gets released, and Claude Code gets released. And now it's like, well, why did I do this? But the generalist has a shot. So someone who's really wide, but also has deep knowledge, but more so wide. Someone who is not a jack of all trades, but a jack of a few trades. People who learned to sell things at uni. People who had the agency, the audacity to build skills. Build skills outside of their degree and not just rely on the straight and narrow path that's been given to them. Because AI is really, really good at clearly defined executionable skills. 1, 2, 3, 4 operating procedures. You follow the instructions, you get a good output. But AI isn't good at breadth. It's not good at understanding the interdependencies between all the variables. It's not good at understanding how this relates to this in a niche way, but only one specific thing applies to it, and that one specific thing is really, really important. Shit like that. From Gen Z to Gen Z, what this means for us is we can't just bet on it. We can't just bet on our degree. Our degree back then would have been all we needed, but now it's merely the price of entry. It's merely the admission ticket. And everything that we stack on top of our degrees will not make us stand out, but it would put us in the running for these graduate jobs. Because whether we like it or not, uni isn't teaching us how to use AI. Uni isn't teaching us to think with agency. Uni isn't teaching us that. It's only teaching us how to drill a specific problem set.